This video is going to explain some of the different transformations that we will do with triangles. The last transformation that we need to talk about is called a rotation. In order to do rotations, we are going to have to use protractors, which is what is shown at the right. Let's spell it correctly for you. Protractor. Draw a line segment to classify each angle, measure, then draw and label the angles on the tool. So a 90-degree angle is going to go from the middle up to 90. That is a right angle. 155 degrees would go from here to there. So if that was, this is 155, that is obtuse. And from this starting point to 25 degrees, that angle is acute. So a rotation is in fact a transformation. We are going to have a pre-image and an image. We will have a center of rotation or an angle of rotation, both. A rotation is a transformation in which a figure turns about a fixed point called the center of rotation. So like in this fan, we would have this center, and then this fin will turn around that center, talking about this propeller. So one blade to the other blade is 90 degrees, so that would be a 90-degree angle of rotation. So our first task will be to decide if each pair of figures shows a rotation. So our first one are these two fan blades or windmill blades. This one is a rotation. This started here and goes down just a little bit. As it goes down, this one goes up and this one goes up. That one is yes. This one, the easiest way to see this would be these two chords. They are flipped like a mirror. This is not a rotation. That is a reflection. The last one we need to talk about are these two hubcaps. We start with this dot on the bottom right across from this line. We can spin it around, so the dot is now here and the line is here. It was a 180-degree rotation. It was a rotation. Rotations are going to involve degree measures. In this picture, it's x degrees about point Q, called the center of rotation. The image of Q itself, the image of Q to itself is Q prime. In this way, Q is the center of rotation, so it will stay itself. For any other point like V, the distance from Q to V and Q to V prime are going to be equal. None of that changes. It's just the angle that it is away from the center of rotation. Okay, so we're going to try to develop a plan for drawing a rotation. The image of point B is itself, if we're rotating it 50 degrees about B, so B prime is going to be the same thing as B. The image of LOB is going to be L prime, O prime, B is still going to be itself. I need to rotate LOB 50 degrees around point B. We can begin by drawing the first side LB, and then we can draw OB. In order to do this, we're going to need a protractor and a ruler. One thing I need to change, we will need a prime symbol here because it'll be a new L, so L prime B and then O prime B. Going through these true and false statements to draw L prime, O prime B, rotating the pre-image clockwise, that's going to be false. We are going to rotate this counterclockwise. The size of the image must be congruent to the size of the pre-image. That will be true. It doesn't change the side lengths at all. We have to use the compass and protractor to draw only 2 of the sides. That's true because the third side should be the exact same. Each angle in L prime L prime B is 50 degrees greater than each angle in LOB. That's false. The angles of the triangle shouldn't change. And that's all the information I have for you about transformations. You do need to know and be able to identify all 3 different types. Remember, the first one was called a translation. It is a slide. The next one we talked about was a reflection. We called this one a flip. And the last one that I just talked about was a rotation, and that is obviously rotating about a fixed point.